Justin Trudeau is facing a political crisis made worse by Donald Trump. Can he survive as Canada's leader? Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau soared to victory in 2015 on the promise of change and sunny ways for the country. Welcome to Canadian Daily News. If you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notifications bell so you don't miss out on any of our upcoming gists. Nearly a decade later, a dark storm cloud has descended upon his increasingly unpopular administration, with the resignation of a top cabinet minister over a dispute about how to manage U.S. President-elect Donald Trump's tariff threats. The abrupt exit Monday of Finance Minister and longtime Trudeau ally Chrystia Freeland, and her public rebuke of her boss, stunned Canadians and threatened to further unravel the government of a country known for its stability. Trudeau's already shaky hold on the country has now become more tenuous as pressure builds on him to step down. Justin Trudeau, a former high school teacher and the eldest son of Pierre Trudeau, one of Canada's most well-known prime ministers, was elected in 2015 with a decisive parliamentary majority for his Liberal Party. One of the country's youngest-ever leaders, Trudeau quickly became a poster boy for Canada's progressive values on the global stage, acting as an antithesis to Trump during the incoming U.S. president's first term. Trudeau won successive elections in 2019 and 2021, but his popularity has steadily declined since as Canadians have become frustrated with political scandals, reneged promises, and the economy, among other issues. A viral video of a tense exchange between Trudeau and a steel worker complaining of the high cost of living came to embody the growing resentment many Canadians felt towards Trudeau. "You're not really doing anything for us, Justin," the worker said. Trudeau's political downfall solidified in recent months after the Liberal Party lost a couple of historically safe seats in by-elections, prompting some within Trudeau's caucus to call for him to step aside. In a particularly telling sign of the Prime Minister's unpopularity, more Canadians now regard the incoming American president more favorably than they do Trudeau, 26% to 23% respectively in recent polls, according to David Coletto, CEO of Abacus Data. The last time Canadians were polled about Trump, in November 2020, just 11% viewed him favorably. Coletto said that on Monday, Finance Minister Freeland quit her post hours before she was due to deliver an annual fiscal update. Her shock announcement came after Freeland said Trudeau had tried to demote her, following a disagreement between the two politicians over how Canada was handling the threat of tariffs by Trump. Canada, home to about 40 million people, is one of America's largest trading partners and closest allies. Freeland, who has long been seen as a potential successor to Trudeau, said she and the Prime Minister had become at odds about the best path forward for Canada. In her resignation letter posted to social media, she and Trudeau had disagreed in recent weeks about a 2-month sales tax holiday and $250 $175 rebates for most workers, policies widely seen as tactics to win back voters. Our country today faces a grave challenge. The incoming administration in the United States is pursuing a policy of aggressive economic nationalism, including the threat of 25% tariffs, Freeland said. "We need to take that threat extremely seriously," she said, arguing that Canada must eschew costly political gimmicks in favor of keeping our fiscal powder dry, so we have the reserves we may need for a coming trade war. "Canadians know when we are working for them, and they equally know when we are focused on ourselves. Inevitably, our time in government will come to an end," said Freeland, who wrote that she will stay in Parliament and plans to run again. Freeland, a former journalist for the Financial Times, Reuters, and the Globe and Mail, was a key interlocutor with the first Trump administration and negotiated the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement. Her resignation, from an American perspective, is akin to a vice president stepping down, said Tari Ajadi, assistant professor of political science at McGill University, and not going quietly, but deciding to resign because they disagreed fundamentally with the direction of the government, the country, and because they were convinced they would lose the next election. Trudeau has so far been adamant that he will stay on as prime minister and has yet to directly acknowledge Freeland's exit. But experts see little path forward for the embattled Liberal leader. "I just don't see how he recovers," said Tyler Chamberlain, associate professor at the University of Ottawa's Telfer School of Management. If it was almost impossible for him to come back, to be competitive again, to convince Canadians or change their minds about him, I think this BAS.